As we inch closer to Maxxine's release on July 5th, I continue to ask myself, who is our new slasher this time around? With Pearl and Howard dead, which of our new characters could be using the moniker of the Night Stalker to go after Maxxine and her constituents? Let's get into it! Hey everyone, before we get into today's video, I'd like to wish all of the dads out there a happy Father's Day and thank my wonderful patrons. You all are the lifeblood that keeps this channel chugging along, and I'm incredibly grateful for your continued support. Become a patron today by clicking the link in the description of this video or by pressing the join button on this page. Thank you to my patrons again. Now let's get into the update. As we learned from the Maxxine trailer, our main antagonist in the next entry of the X trilogy will be the Night Stalker, a real-life serial killer who terrorized California in the mid-80s. I won't go on the whole rant again, but I don't think this movie will actually feature a dude pretending to be Richard Ramirez, or at least I hope not. Rumor has it that Maxxine will be a secret murder mystery, which explains the star-studded cast and suspicious trailer moments. What we know from the bits and pieces we've learned from the trailer is that somehow Maxxine's Bible-thumping, potentially cult leader father is looking for her, which makes me think the killer's motive will revolve around this too. It really makes this video perfect for Father's Day. I'm looking for a possible connection to the religious angle as well, or, well, anything remotely suspicious. You know, like this.
You with my family, you die.
In today's video, I want to go through the brand new character posters from the film and determine who could be the next slasher in this modern trilogy. Without further ado, let's dive on in. Our holdover character from the first installment, at least the one that we know about thus far, is Maxxine Minx. She's the lone survivor of the Texas porn star massacre that happened 6 years prior to the events of this new film, and is trying to break onto the golden scene of Hollywood. Although I could totally see Maxxine becoming a killer in a different franchise due to her selfish desire for fame, she is clearly our final girl here. I don't see this flick turning into high tension where the audience doesn't even realize what's really going on until a big third act twist showing you what's been happening this entire time. No way. I believe whoever is behind the mask, or should I say black leather gloves, is certainly after her. Maxxine's big break into the world of film comes from her role in The Puritan 2, a slasher sequel directed by Elizabeth Debicki's character, Elizabeth Bender. It's almost like she was born to play this role with her name and all. Can I also just say I love her last name, Debicki. I could say it all day, Debicki, Debicki, Debicki. Bender gives me some suspicious vibes, especially after hearing this line in a more recent trailer.
We've all got blood on our hands now.
But poignant line aside, I don't think it makes any sense to see the director of the movie Maxxine has been cast in become the killer. If she wanted to kill Maxxine, then why cast her in the movie she's making? To compare this to the oddly similar Scream 3, that movie slasher, who is also the director of the film being made in that flick, Roman Bridger, didn't lure out Sidney Prescott by casting her in his crappy threequel, he just started attacking her friends. Elizabeth's purpose in this flick seems to be the gatekeeper to Maxxine's dream, but she can only get there by dealing with the ghosts of her past. For this reason, I don't think Bender is going to die. I feel like she may be unscathed or possibly even unaware of the murders throughout this one. We get that line from her where she asks Maxxine to take care of her personal business so she can continue shooting her scenes. She probably just thinks Maxxine has something going on in her personal life, nothing too bad to kick her off the project, but a slight bump in the road, when in reality, the lives of everyone involved are at stake. Moses Sumney's character, Leon Green, is only seen briefly putting away tapes at the video store alongside Maxxine in the footage we've seen thus far. While Moses has had some roles in movies including this flick and Creed, he's best known as a singer-songwriter. With his lack of experience as an actor, I see him as more of a killed character versus the killer character. That's not supposed to be a diss towards Moses, by the way. I'm sure he's a phenomenal actor. He just doesn't have the experience of someone like, well, Kevin Bacon, for instance, who has been in a ton of movies. I will say, though, Leon does look awfully suspicious in his character poster, however, wielding a knife and a cast on his left arm. What happened there, buddy? Just defending yourself or slicing up someone at night?
At night.
In all seriousness though, I think Leon will be the Randy Meeks of this movie. He literally works at a video store and seems to be a horror virtuoso. I'm just waiting for him to scream, "Everybody's a suspect!" in the video store, drawing some unnecessary attention. Another Scream 3 comparison I'd like to make here because it's impossible not to. I've always said that that film's most under-discussed flaw is a lack of Randy Meeks in Hollywood. Imagine the horror dork geeking out about being on the set of Stab 3. That would have made for some legendary secondary scenes that likely would have been gassed by horror commentary and laughs. Maxxxine seems to be picking up that slack here with this character, which is why I think that will be his purpose in the film, as well as probably being our like third or maybe fourth kill. There is not a character on this list I'm more sure of being dead at some point in this flick than Halsey's Tabby Martin. Just like Moses Sumney, Halsey is best known as a singer-songwriter over her career as an actress. This again leads me to believe that she won't be our killer. And this might be a spoiler, but I'm 90% sure we get a quick flash of her dead body in the trailer. I don't think that Maxxine's adult film star friend is long for this world, but I do hope she has some fun moments early on in the film before her very, very likely death. I wish I had more to say about this character. Her individual poster features her in a red wig, which is cool, but again, this just gives me wearing a red shirt on an episode of Star Trek vibes, which leads me to the same conclusion. Dead meat! The first character I'm really suspicious of here is Lily Collins' Molly Bennett. Molly is one of the other actresses in The Puritan 2 that works alongside Maxxxine and Elizabeth. This isn't Lily's first time potentially dealing with real-life serial killers in movies either. She had a leading role in 2019's Ted Bundy biopic, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, which makes me think that she could slip into the killer role this time around. It's easy to come up with a motive for her too, that simply being jealousy. This porn actress is taking roles from us? What's up with that? I could totally see her having that motive. The issue here is I can't draw a connection to the clear religious undertones of this movie. Our killer has to be connected to Maxxine's father somehow. I don't think they would have set all of that up in X if this wasn't going somewhere. Maybe Molly was recruited by the Bible thumper as she falls deeper into her own downward spiral. She could even be a secret religious fanatic that we're not sure of, even though she's starring in horror flicks. I don't know, that just sounds like a stretch to me. The best motives are the simple ones at the end of the day. Before I say anything about the Teddy Knight character, we must have an obligatory block of praise for the best villain actor of all time, Giancarlo Esposito. If you've watched this channel for a while now, you've probably heard me go on a ton of rants about how underappreciated this actor really is. The gravitas and effortless power this guy has commands an entire scene despite the material. Without spoiling anything, there's a scene in one of the first episodes of Breaking Bad Season 4 where Giancarlo's Gus Fring does something so terrifying it would make Art the Clown crap his clowny pants. He does all of this without saying a word. You know the scene if you've watched it. To this day, it sticks in my head as one of the coldest moments in television history, and was only made possible because of this once-in-a-lifetime performer. It was an honor to shake this guy's hand at Horror Hound. With that being said, I will honestly be a little disappointed if his character here doesn't become our killer. Besides his repertoire though, I sadly have no reason to believe this character is looking to cut up Miss Minx. Teddy is described as an agent for adult film and Z-list actors. He gives me less of a Richard Ramirez vibe, but more so that of Mr. Krabs. Dude is in it for the money. To paraphrase the great Randy Meeks, an extension of the sin factor makes you dead meat when it comes to horror. And greed, my friends, is one of the 7 deadly sins. I think Teddy will end up on the chopping block, sadly, but I do think he could be an excellent red herring if Ty West put any bit of thought into those scenes, which he definitely did. Hopefully Giancarlo gets to do more here than an Abigail as well. John Labette is the private eye hired to find Maxxine Minx. He says he works for a very powerful man, making me think that could be the mysterious father figure we've sort of yet to meet, unless you count those interludes in X. Kevin Bacon could totally be our killer here for multiple reasons. First of all, this is nowhere near the Baconator's first time dealing with the devil. He's appeared in countless horror flicks, including Friday the 13th, Tremors, and They/Them. In the latter there too, he also plays the villain. The only aspect keeping me from believing that he's our killer is all the shots in the trailers where he is clearly wounded. It looks like Applewood here got stabbed in the neck or the back, likely by the killer, but there is a chance these inflictions came from Maxxine trying to defend herself. There also could be 2 killers too, who knows? In my opinion, there's enough information out there now to be rightfully suspicious of the guy, but I still have my not so private eye set on another character here. The seeming lead detective of the ongoing murders is Detective Torres, played by Bobby Cannavale. Bobby is best known for the TV shows, comedies, and action movies that he's been in, but his career has shifted towards horror lately, with his leading role in the series The Watcher. Detective Torres is my personal pick for the Night Stalker copycat here for a bunch of reasons. First of all, he's a cop who is investigating the ongoing case, so he would know everything there is to know about this killer a lot better than the public did at that time. This is the character who could slip into that role the easiest as a cover-up. On top of that, I want to ask you a question. Besides Maxxxine, who were the only other surviving characters of X? The cops! Detective Torres here easily could have been working alongside Sheriff Dentler back in 1979 over in Texas. This would explain how he knows who Maxxxine is. Also, the dude is just super suspicious in the trailer. Here's a little clip of strange lines from the fella.
Heard of the Night Stalker, right?
The Night Stalker.
This killer's still out there, Maxine. What are you hiding?
One last point I'd like to make about Detective Torres is that there has been a recent trend of cops being killers in murder mystery movies. Both Scream 6 and Thanksgiving touched on this, and I'm sorry if I just spoiled that for anyone. I'm almost entirely sure we will see this character don the persona of the Night Stalker in this flick to go after Maxxine for some strange reason. Oh lord, I hope he's not Pearl and Howard's kid. That kind of soap opera reveal would just feel like such a waste of time. Detective Williams isn't featured much in the trailers, but working so close to the character I'm the most suspicious of makes me wonder if she's actually an accomplice. Michelle Monaghan gives me more of a soccer mom vibe, however, making me think she's genuine when asking Maxxine about the killer. A good cop to Detective Torres's bad cop, if you will. I could see her being totally unaware of her partner's evil doings, which might actually add some complexity to this relationship that I like. Maybe she ends up helping Maxxine in the end after some show-stopping reveal. I wouldn't mind that, actually. I don't see her dying either, but again, we'll just have to see. This is a slasher after all, we have to have some good kills. Sophie Thatcher's character didn't get a poster herself, but she is featured briefly in one of the coolest TV spots thus far. Maxxine is getting a head cast done for a special effect in The Puritan 2. This process in real life requires a performer to sit in a chair with a cast over their head for multiple hours while it dries. It looks like this will be an exciting sequence to say the least, but doesn't make me suspicious of this probably one-note character. There's one last thing I'd like to add to this entire investigation. We learned from the trailers that the porno that was shot in X has circulated. Other people have seen it. So maybe our killer character's motive is something as simple as being a stalker to Maxxine. I mean, it's literally in the moniker right there, Night Stalker. Dude might just be an incel who wants Maxxine to be his girlfriend a little too much. Could that be Detective Torres's motive? Well, we'll just have to see in time. My mind is pretty set on the guy, but what do you guys think? Who is the most suspicious character in the cast list of Maxxine? Who will be our new slasher, and who will be their victims? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider subscribing to this page. We are almost at 25,000 subscribers. Holy crap. Also, please subscribe to my brand new gaming channel, GullGotha. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers on that page before the end of the summer. Would be pretty cool if y'all could do that. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.